This might be one of my most favorite places I visited in Korea. I'm in Hadong near the southern coast of South Korea, and this area is famous for its mushrooms and green tea, and even their wild tea plantations. I started the day off in the local tea museum, but to be honest, it was okay. It seemed like they pumped a lot of money into this place, but other than one little section with some interactive screens, it seemed like a glorified tea set collection. They also had this super cheesy video playing, which didn't really explain anything at all. We did, however, manage to get a leaflet here that showed the surrounding tea fields that you can visit, which led us to Tonggum Tea Farm, a mountainside covered in patches of green tea plants, some growing in neat rows and some growing in little wild patches like this. We drove up to the top of the mountain and I decided to walk down while my parents decided to drive down. At the top there was sort of like this monorail thing which looked abandoned and overgrown, and it seemed to be going to the tippy top of the mountain. Walking down, it was pretty steep, but the views heading down were totally worth it. And then as like a form of scarecrow, they hung up all these shirts on poles everywhere too, which was kind of eerie. I tried picking a tea leaf to see what it smelled like, but it smelled nothing like green tea. But I guess it makes sense since it does need processing first. I caught up with my parents briefly and then they kept going down the mountain. And here's one more of the wild tea patches. It's like these little unkept bushes scattered around some rocks and trees, and I think I kind of prefer over the neat rows. I also picked up some tea seeds here too, so I might take these back to my parents' farm and try to grow them. Next, we made our way to Hwage Market, which is sort of like a traditional market, although I don't know how traditional a kebab shop is in Korea. You can get all sorts of local produce and dried goods here, along with some other more questionable stuff. We actually then backtracked a little bit back towards the tea museum because I saw a restaurant that was advertising mushroom hot pot, and this area is famous for their mushrooms. Walking in, they had this pretty cool corner filled with soju infusions too. If there's one thing you gotta know about eating in Korea, it's banchan, which means side dishes, and as soon as you sit down, the table is filled with banchan. We also ordered some of what they call traditional makgeolli, but to be honest, it just tasted like plain store-bought makgeolli, only there was just some rice bits in it. The mushroom hot pot came out, and it was much more impressive than I expected. There were 3 or 4 different types of mushrooms, all locally grown, along with loads of green stuff and some beef on top, which might have been the beefiest beef I've ever had. It was actually just so delicious. The hot pot was amazing, and my mom also ordered this dish, which was a root called todok. It's covered in spicy sauce, then grilled. It's really crunchy, almost like a lightly blanched broccoli, and to me it was really tasty since I like the taste of todok, which almost tastes like a much milder ginseng. For dessert, we drove back towards the market to go to this green tea cafe that we've been to a couple times before. There's a pretty cool shop selling some really nice local ceramics, tea sets, and some local green tea. I wanted to get a green tea bingsu, but it was out of season, so instead I got a green tea and some green tea ice cream. Green tea ice cream was again amazing, not too sweet, not too bitter, and the green tea comes through really well. And the green tea itself was next level. Korean green tea has always been my favorite tea. It's just so naturally sweet, delicate, and floral. It's almost addictive. Also, I don't know if I'm doing this teapot thing correctly. While I was there, I bought some green tea powder for some projects and some of the more expensive tea just to try. And then it was coming to mid-afternoon, so we started making our way back to Kojido, which is about 2-hour drive away, but not before stopping by this forest, by this big stream. And the stream was so calm, it was perfect for skipping stones. If you've got the time and a car to get around, I highly recommend exploring the southern part of Korea. It's just so peaceful and the scenery is amazing and the food here is next level.